Oh, absolutely. I'll get my phone so I have the time. So I should, like that? Yeah, I move around a bit. Sometimes will that be all right? Yes, so we need to think of those. Yeah, so.
That's fine as well.
Okay, lovely. Thanks.
You're aware of the. Will you just run sound? Okay, so microphones are very much stationary feature, so you just have to send a short microphone. And that's it really, and that's our camera and the speaker.
And is that the general?
Can we Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, hello everybody, Falterov. Hope you're all enjoying the Winter Warmer Festival so far. Really glad to have you all here with us on this Sunday. Tá on Féiste seo feimid takeíocht for us na Gaeilge, so big roint Gaeilge Inish, August Berla. So we'll be presenting through the English and Irish language for our following poet. So I'm going to introduce for you now Gormla ni Hiacán ni Violán. Sas Kirky is Phila Scrivenor Astor Fadogi, Pianador, Orani, Ershanos, August Rincor Shete. Gormla is a poet, a writer, an actor, a pianist, Shano singer, and a set dancer. Her writing and music has won many awards, and her work is published in the collections Lamper Lasse, Gradam Varvak, Nisail, Govila Sado, as well as more. So I'm going to, without further ado, pass you over to Gormla Hiacán. Tanavas.
Lauren Breen, womb speaks. An aim of Breen allowed, a squil wahi skiradu vosh, mar a chin dirge as Breen a maher. Of a nach civihach, lonaha in Breenshe, a goal machid fulla, a gehe na novestig, gan fjucha, gan frucha, ach bill ag tucht machid. Crappa hatashi, mavringing death. Gan lanav, gan yininte, amrid full of fultach wignach mar nar a gorai shigertme. Is near huggish o mostam mar a yoch ban ri ach a bunt hiris hier diem a tarakasam les scientist gan kuram of them las. Shine an fog or skidad mavrinamach. Ní a túr vás líse ná bás me dhéine hain. ach a túr na fáistena, go dréicid sa tu, is gur cumalaat féig. Maid an dána, smet á gácha, siad a jarcas an áig fan am sit lí. Fi a gwaed ailw, sa lefyn y rosi. Is byfinged bioli nan y ciolsi. Lagos molai fed a bride le mortas. Is de jaras a paigide stormachri. Sheturchi stades nastarak machloka. Gan a festach no sege and the he. Tugum life het na fylem se pasta, mar as buachali nog ma. Hogyan du fni staid i alumse, ar nash gewoche. Da jo va mos mar de joch bannerie. Geringe hai kal kap hai gert sa god art. Gona klok agus kapeshin. Fach sjop a dram o god an a vienstan borter. Is the love do well taragti. Ni launa chwaer fel go chagas oche. Snile gan an a bron dom a felrish. Mar tam a vainte drivadig boys young. Sni vayet a void in jom hardigir. La manna brunna sjeni enum gorle. Ach a shula vohir dolosli. Mares kalina skatma gwalt vohir. Olrog nolish cheapachai. Hastilíamas I gaunnig go hóchel, cehar chalí na gart. Hiúil maid fad an bhórdwag fi an hírian na dul féig, hyn Joni scrogl giliw cuiachtarin, a getalt har na ciat o fwylan, is dogri mar lem mortas, ar súingas, is ar nardú crí. Ach hyn mar manw rele leis, a hachant, an son a tuaird féig a caintir ar a bhóg a bhíar ar dórnach an siúltamach nuch an sirí nuch an cata aimsire. Déaliad ar isteach, ní ha, ach bhuaile mar namach. Lanéimi de naun buchalí, mastíní gan stiff, staile na grí, strapparí a manúr atar ha hain, cá bhuaile ar nalagar. Díal man a rís rugby chlárach a telefíse bhón a báis do chlúite, chágamid an ar neoigiad nuair a dhéalaimid isteach ó gálan eile. Ní maileman sa hé, tá asna ver a gaint, níl imidas sa bhai fléir bhai racers, tus a gairí ach a cah an a níag. Éalaí glúm sealad, a bhaná. Isteach an líagán ar smíte. I'm shimish atach dar me. Evenis ar gurp. Fágamísin ar nuig. Agala rum wiginus. Mar betsa albrot. Go henrach in ban. Gurmagav. So, Gurmina Mahagav, thanks so much for having me. Thanks for the lovely introduction. My name is Goramla, and I write mainly in Irish. So that was a crazy cycle. It starts with a womb speaking, and there's an alien inside of the womb drinking your blood and eating your eggs, as they do. And then there's this motif inside in that poem that I took it from Ochel, the song, the Shannon song, about a woman who is betrayed terribly and thrown out by her family. And then the last one is my own poem called Ochel, and it's a true story. We went to Ochel, we went to Youghal, 4 of us in a car, we had a great time, but I wasn't so taken with some of the stuff we were saying. It felt like we sort of were visitors in our own world. So it's sort of about that and gender inequality and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to keep going with a bilingual one. It doesn't have a name. So the title page in my notebook just says Lay of Nanonigel. Inuch na hi in the darkness of last night, I dreamt of you. Vi duch na hi ram an chloka, rihim me hjol gehoga machisle, but I had betrayed you. Hast du os me hjun hraid an tanahuna, raidam, ach gur rumpish wem no de raida sa de yeg. You stood above me on the sharp slope of Shandon Street and called me, only to turn away when I called you back. Rihis fed yen. I ran to you. You disappeared as dimishas. Niravalnach bringaloid, just a dream. Elahaid Battis, how strange a beginning. Gurmagav. So this is the nightmare bit of the reading. This one is called, it has 2 titles, but I prefer one of them. So this one's called Glochach Sul, Eye Jelly. And if you feel like closing your eyes, I'd love if you did that, up to yourselves, and then open them when it feels right. Hit elekenistach a doach roundel. Huig sé sísan a scór na giad. Is húl na húile. Hit a húile sheer na chligan. Is chuig gizamathe in the bheawd, a rolla leo, a fiachin a muinte, nuair a tuigech dog had a bhí rimisht, chur sé a mach an méid a bhí an a bholog, a lekine. Hitber a gaincréid os a hóid, I cire in an glóchach bhain darag. Rascail sé a húile. Agus bhí rá fáil dubh ina cheann. Hín sé isteach rá bhéir, chuidir siar tríg, nó gur bhuileidir le glóthach lia, le tíal, stróic sé a bheabhair dá chuile is thugamach iad, ceann an ach bais chun fiachant ar a saoil mór, ach dúmpiadar chun ací hadíist an tuamhás, héan an tavarc, is flesk. Gurmagav. This next one is about my own sort of relationship with gender, the fluidity of gender to me. So it's just sort of about not being said in with yourself. Yeah, I'll just read it. Lidigim áitih ach níchim spiduk. Tasdi a wim lui e gli ma ghoráil. Callan tú wam. Tá tinnis an bolog is támise as alt. Ní higam cad tá am cholin. Ní lagam lávidhe. Agam misach si is goducach tún an dieg a dalpach me. a tuairt fé mo hibíocht agus cad is banán, de higus cad a bhí anam sa trá, nádar a giminis. Okay, this one I wrote very, very recently, I think last Sunday, and it's called Under Capitalism. It's vaguely bilingual, so winning salt. Under capitalism is cadavach dom. Pócaí mi hir na talún na líana go mísú le humar kisa. Under capitalism is cadavach dom. Precarious work, obair chonra shaladach nu chonra bi. Under capitalism is cadavach dom. Siúl go brodú le mar seálach saurig broid ach nuair a hagan fuacht an hírig. Agus géad no guithe a dúig, agus fuide a súile an ine. Under capitalism is cadavach dom. Mateacht a chelt. Mo huahantais suhin sicha a haska do bhilmachid iedig nuair is agalom unsi mar ragra vaubáistí. Under capitalism is cadavach dom. Skíle a bhra is smir machná a meile as baile céile me híad am a chrá na nóin gur laináilis pócaí me hir na talún go tráhuil mí súil under capitalism. Ní cadavach dom, má ghora sa rúna is gach creep berágant las muda. Under capitalism ní cadavach dom, harassment a chur drausen fáide túa, an saidúid a fille valle, a van chéile a mihe le fada, le farelle, eisian a feiristeachtíd a bhainiuig pe smutta chrí a bhaidan a vidische, ag plaba an duidish suaslan a fus. Under capitalism ní cadavach dom, má ghoras a flabba agus gach olc a rágant las muige. Cégur cadavach saidúidi agus cinnaíhu. Free Palestine. So I have another mad cycle with a Shandel song in the middle of it. I'm going to start with a poem that I wrote when the Irish Times was running a competition to commemorate 100 years of the Irish Free State, and I didn't think they'd like it, so I never entered it in the end. So it's called Tubar Banach na Héireann, the Holy Well of Ireland. It's ironic, just in case you'd be idirchá chóirl about that. Then I'm going to go into a song from Musgree called Coshaghirhig, which I find strange because there's this really long, it's a lovely, lovely song. It has a really cool air, but there's this verse in it where they're saying, oh my God, we have the best landlords and the British Army. Great, that they say that, and it doesn't seem to be tongue-in-cheek, so I just find it really curious. So I'm putting that in the middle, and it's also a very watery place. Coshaghirhig, the Gairtha, is totally waterlogged, so a water theme. And then I'm going to read a poem that I wrote, a month ago now, I'd say, in response to what's going on in Gaza, and that one's called Ishke. Tá tubar banatha ann tae fíor den dig. Tá sé psiocnéata, soláthrainn isce much is díanach. Ní isce é a dulthain, ná an duine fón ta déana. Ní héana aici le tubar banatha in tíise, ach iad san a chiasfar. Tháinig maithir láh le maineáil. Haring sé chun a tubar is thum a chaig isteach, chide a chirpis, chide a corpus chrid sé, ma bháthir á bhá, dún sís maithir ach níor scail sé le ma bháthir nuair ir sé dá, haring in níos a ríistí, sléithir le gach racht go sacht, cha sé wigi is chas a romsa is thum me seach sa tubar ar fam a héal bhóileach níor bheith. The haring sé machme is cha méir a bhéir. Lys an acil am bháthir, spíonta, sínta, sinna fiochantar a spéid. Cha maithir sellering is dimmig. On lás an amach, níor duineach me I chiasa. Leanam se maithir ó sa gé atá daéirim. Tumann sé má bháthir sa tobar nuair a íatan a cha sé brudú leis na slúite a thugtar chuige le réiteach, níor bách fósaí, mar a duineach leis na céata, na bocht, na daoine daite, na heachtranig daibhéasa, na maná, na hatig, na stríopagus iad tréachta, locht ebid agus siúil duineach iad a ghaire sa tobar banathe taobh hir dam hig, rihan fuil, thiúh, jarrug, éiran. Coram céad blian an ó tógach an tobar céanna is ní dhéanthad sé a legan ó sa goma bheith a stúid nuair a bheadam ar mór éasta nuair a bhátha me na céata le lámh cheansa, chneasta an tair stáit. Kosher higes bereining is es alnawing. Miles kerva torer jagev agus uler achram chulash chenye kantenenam avach milon mau knobies karha Farif Gagam a fas gosaud Noed raun shield a raum a carases is on the doring rieg Es tangevog gach kashike Le glaniaf Bina barglas a vashlev Agus pora berader Agus cantinus marakele Eikonian Es nuer raun shi drama karaser so na doring rieg As tangevog gach kashike le Agus pora berader Agus cantinus a marakele eikonian Es a ton sir bian kjolhaun Agus Fringede Ege fare vogel Nar a voldorf Et ege tarne glach Nile mortas Donna tartsan A vered lon Swach den of Forse le forza teri de gueldaire Bian fitting ex sagartev ale naigeshe Tierni talvaun ga canasach Es esperarem Tantarum sorry saxonaun Fescarloidrer Agus sinen baru De vedem fasteret A chweldair hiúlaí sa cóigi is dúhinil. Asan go mála agus go ciúis lach lein, ní agus a maiste liv, ná me hiúl go leir an bhailechur, is bid a haingeach lom, ná no chfuil dair réir. Iste, céféid brean na hill an nuas an uv. Dhin an arig a bhhairgus spray salanach ó chorcaig go ciúntáile, is suas go blá clia siar go chaileh is síos ó chuig go letar canan. Cén sile dhin an scunna, cén scrúiseáil dhin an nitóid míos, cén díbert folla is slachar dhin an maisíní a cháin. Conas mar a bheithaig an tuisce sean na ciata, is cé hiad na ciata mílte atá bástáil dá iamais. Mana mé seo an siomra líon na Suas. Tá sé brahan sé deas a mí chláiste an sa. I'm going to try another bilingual one. This one's a bit experimental. I called it nonsense love poetry, but I'm not sure it's like nonsense enough to be nonsense. So you can decide for yourselves. Under the skin. Some coarse thing veins my skin. I was happy yesterday. Today did time pass. I eyed down, side up, close to myself. Oh, pet name with slick-tongued sanity, fame of an all. Tá tún sa fé hógach a cúr síl wem, tá braham chó sanna vís an taum a nethe wem, tá braham ciún ó spun es sin slían ar bhratú chumme a chumman. Is a hark, tá me bheawda chailút gom leat. So mar dearch loch goil in a hasáis tispachtach or is so maham rod I have me to reduin chun derig. I've only 2 poems left. So I'm going to start with one Shachint ur chuiseach, which I always translate terribly as cold avoidance, avoiding someone very coldly. And then I'm going to go into one called Steps in the Air, which is about clouds. So I'll send us off on a note about clouds. But before that, some bitterness, some envy, some bad vibes. Shachint ur chuiseach. Tra chigilís stidum jelaidum in volk. Wie ne leemtas mo chrikken, le háhas tú jishkint agus lean an chohiskint vad. Traile chigilís stidum meade nuair a bearlaat a cholúidir sanna mise, is tu seacha a dairiocha fásadó spéide scamai lí a hirí ní reveram. Tra the heol lem chlúis, the hir aidal lei húil in a gardan bach, ach bhean na bheas, chun go seachaníim go fuair chúiseach in iste, an stidum sclepethe, mise bailethe. Steps in the Air. Tá na scamáile súgra os cóir mar gáthúil, séideann siad clíochánach isteach go crosar a bhór is síos an clasach a scape th ghirtas ar chhlacha a póga an dúirín dé. Cuideacha seolan go háirdos na hiún, cuideacha silan siam chosa, cuideacha cuidann siad cogur an chlúis, cuideacha slíochan mo grúig. Nuair a hagan an ré, Géiríonn ar a luas tá an buid ar na ceos gamil is foiirch an gníomh ach nuair a bhailíonn si lé, éiríonn siad díomhaoin agus líon na nochta a chéile. Tá spéir mhuar goram in aineoin a téideáin ó réadan is a choiríonn fuathe. Níl únta ach max gamil a gimmert le chéile, déanta as braoine níosce. Níl seasamhacht únta, mar atáinte sin is ní seasamha iad ná an ré. Níl iad an himpeall ach seall beag go rinke, ach cé cheapach gomach step ag an air. Gur míle
So guys, we're going to run swiftly into our next segment for the evening, which is kind of exciting. It's a new event we're trying out. So this time last year, we would have had the All-Ireland Slam in this room, which was an incredible event, won by Leon Dunn then. And so when we were programming this year, we were reflecting on how much poetry, and especially poetry nights, have been appearing and flourishing in Cork. So we figured we might have a nice opportunity for us all to kind of get together and, you know, present each other's nights and have a little poetry night showcase. Very luckily and coincidentally, none of them clash with each other, so you can put them all into the calendar. So there's going to be 4 different poetry nights represented tonight. And yeah, I really look forward to it. So myself and Shauna will introduce the different nights, and then each respective host will introduce 3 poets, which would be regulars of their night. Does that make sense? Yeah, we'll see it anyway, see what happens. So the first night that I'm going to present, it's called Sling Slang, and it is also a monthly event, and it's on third Wednesday of every month at Maureen's Bar in Cork City, which just a major shout out to Maureen and Dennis in that bar. They're doing incredible work above, and it's really, I think, just such an amazing and perfect home for the Sling Slang event, which began by Cara Kirsch years ago, I think pre-COVID, and then after COVID I was really glad to see it pop up again in that fabulous home. The night is emceed by Richard Pearce, who I'm now going to hand over to speak more about the event and present their poets. So, welcome, Richard. And just to all poets on the way to the mic, we cannot, our mics are very stationary today, as we have an online audience. So we'll keep them in one place.
Down we go. Thanks. Hello, everybody. I'm just going to do a quick overview. It's kind of frustrating going after Michelle after she stole my whole spiel, you know, but look, what can you do? But Sling Slang, we host Sling Slang in Maureen's Pub on the 3rd Wednesday of every month, and we organise it as a sort of informal poetry night. The night is structured, I think, quite uniquely. We start off with our first guest poet, and then we have an open mic night, and then we have a second guest poet, and we finish in a collaborative poem, which is a poem collected by words from the audience throughout the night. So we kind of passed around a little list. It's an unmiked event, and it's basically you say your poetry from where you're standing. And I think for any new poets, anyone who's trying to like explore spoken word or story or any sort of word or rhyme, it's a beautiful way to start in a really, really beautiful, supportive environment. And if you haven't been there yet, you're seriously missing out. No offense to my other co-poetry nights, but this is the best one, you know. And we've had many guests in the room as our guest poets. So the next one's on the 20th of December, so we'll hope to see you there. I always start off our Sling Slangs with a little bit of a story. So I'm just going to tell a very short story before introducing our first guest poet. Just out of curiosity, does anyone know where the word crack comes from? Like, you know, the Irish sentiment of having the crack. Well, back in the day when the Druids were lining up lines of coke on us, no, I'm joking. Back in the day, there's a linguistic root where we believe that like crack comes from the Irish word cracoilta, which means the madness. So I always loved that, you know. And I think like Maureen's is definitely a kind of area where madness is insinuated and ensued. but there's a kind of a slight turn in that word where we take away the linguistics and we take away logic, and it's when we accept that sometimes in Irish pubs and Irish places there's a crack in reality. And it's places like, you know, like Maureen's, where you walk in and the capacity of the pub is about 6, and yet there's about 400 people in the room. Somehow everybody's got a drink. There's, you know, a poet says, you know, doing spoken word in the corner. There's a couple having an old flirt in the other corner, and everyone's hearing it. And next to you is your, you know, your brother who's meant to be in Australia, and then your aunt walks out of the bathroom even though she's been dead for 25 years. It's a great experience when you get these kind of cracks in reality. And it was in one such night in Maureen's that, you probably remember this, Brendan, I'd say, when there was a fiddler playing, and he was a very exotic fiddler. He'd kind of travelled all over the world, and we walked into Maureen's, we couldn't believe it, like, you know, he's playing Bog the Donkey in an Arabic hue. We're like, wow. And you swear that was the most unusual thing about it, but you wouldn't believe it, lads. He had a monkey on his shoulder, and the monkey was just the greatest crack ever. He was doing jigs across his head and around him, but the best thing about the monkey is that every time someone went to, you know, shed a tear for Parnell, he'd hop up to the bar and finish their drink. And he was getting absolutely believers. We all thought this was the best crack ever. But one thing led to another, and there was one man in the bar, and he was very upset by this whole going. He had kind of a scowly, miserable face on him. He'd be all crunched up and kind of, I'd say the last time he smiled, I remember it well, it was 1963. And he was very upset by this monkey. And what happened anyway, the monkey noticed this, and he was very vexed because he was a total entertainer like myself, you know. And the monkey hopped across all the light fittings and landed in the man's hat, looked over him, and like made a funny face. And your man was very cross. He grabbed the monkey and he flung it across the bar. And we all just, well, like, what the hell has happened there? Fiddler playing away, you know, no one paying no attention. And the monkey didn't like that at all. So he hopped across, sat on the bar. Maureen just couldn't believe it, like, but he got his tail and stuck it into your man's pint. And no amount of shoving or dragging was getting that monkey out of the pint. It was over for the pint, you know. And eventually the old man, he gave up and he walked over to the fiddler and he jabbed him into the side and he says, "Do you know the monkey's tail is in the pint?" And the fiddler looked up to him and said, "I don't, but if you sing the first 2 bars, I'm sure I'll pick it up." Thanks for the support, Catherine. Anyway, our first guest tonight is Kate McElroy, who will be one of our featured poets on the 20th of December. Now, Kate told me that she's a multimedia artist, and oftentimes her spoken word is accompanied by, you know, visual art pieces. So I'm inviting you to close your eyes and imagine some art as she's speaking, just any kind of art. You know, it's all subjective. Sure, what's art anyway, if not just a bit of crack? And she'll be reading a few poems for us in lieu or in anticipation of her showcase on the 20th of December. Kate, if you would like to come up and join us. Thank you.
Towering, teetering, a brink, an edge, a slow build-up, a construct, towering, teetering, one atop another, a line meanders, sprawls, off course, diverging, an unknown unfurling, a blur, boundaryless. It floats, fluid, color cascades, losing linearity, diverging, emerging. An unfolding, evolving, never ceasing matrix of multiplicity. Division dividing, vision colliding. A vortex of volume, a never ceasing column. degrading, upgrading, derailing, a shape-shifting structure, a multi-layered puncture, a juncture. Stairs never ceasing, bridging to abyss. We exist at an edge, pendulous and ether. We waddle closer to precipice. A milked window glances us back to marshlands of reeds and riverbeds, soft and unsolid, yet seemingly safer than culverted concrete. Walking on variegated grounds, our paths diverge. Cement carpets new trails, fences are new windows, bridging worlds, liminal ends. Your eyes settle, only for a second. The moment only lasts so long. Grids, overline, cross, misalign. Gone are organic chevrons and mystical spirals, interlacing fractals of natural geometry. We see only structure now. Modular design, repeated, repeated, repeated. Consumer life sold to us in images of clinking cocktails, stuffed briefcases, and coffees to go because there's no time, there's no time, there's no time. If we stuff our cities high, suffocating space, does that change our pace? If traffic is constant, like the undulating rhythm of a clock, tick-tock, tick-tock, does that sound infuse my being, click-clocking into my unconscious, a constant reminder of somewhere to go, a message to be sent, a reminder, bing, bing, bing. Through condensed fog of exhaust fumes and chimney smoke, I look. What vestiges lay veiled, cloaked in concrete. The arteries of the earth are seen no more. Sometimes I strain beneath the cacophonous cityscape, the kaleidoscopic sound for an underlying hum laying earthen. What is the opposite of progress? A degrowth where nature flourishes, a rewilding where spirit isn't bound, a combustion of structures, the kind of fire that ignites, douses, and rekindles to burn again, brighter but transformed. An alchemy, catalytic. What time is now? The end of progress? What space is here? What space is? Slowly erased, like time from a clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. A teetering edge. Block by block. Will it stop? Tick, tock, tick, tock. Brick by brick and block by block. As cement pours amidst a dying roar, we scatter and scour through labyrinth power. Ever evasive and persuasive, a ventriloquist hand, it made me do it. Think not, tick-tock, tick-tock. I see your queen and raise you none, not needed here, my neoliberal son. I command you through my glitzy gun, such fun, a casino spectacle that can't be won. Glass curtains glisten as time is fickle, you can't check out nowhere to run. Such fun, a big wheel, a crane, new heights ceaselessly we summon. To climb atop, glass brick by brick, it pricks my hand, but I climb on. Gold blood, it drips from floor to floor, but I climb on in ceaseless more. Floor after floor, an elevator saves my breathless hum. New heights I go at instant speed, so fast I hardly notice my incessant bleed. Gold blood, it drips from floor to floor, but I climb on, 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 but I grasp 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 on.
Okay, that was incredible. I was just thinking as you were doing these beautiful poems, wouldn't it be great if after every poem there was like a confetti cannon or something that just kind of shot off and went, okay, now it's time to go, you know? Our next poet is someone who, without which Sling Slang wouldn't be possible. She's the founder of Sling Slang, and an integral part to its outstanding success over the last year and a half. Cara, would you please welcome Cara to the stage?
Hello everyone, it's great to be here. Thank you so much to Paul for asking Sling Slang to be a part of this. Thanks a lot, cheers. I'm just going to do a few poems and then a little song at the end. This first, and sorry, I'll be using my phone as well. This first poem is called Nana. I meet her now as a skeletal leaf. We transport together to earlier days where once displayed different shades of green. We extract random puzzle pieces. Through forest, moss, lime, we pull up details to knit a patchwork quilt with. We pluck them through mist as golden moments that had felt truly mundane at the time. Like what I had for dinner on her 70th birthday, like how I boasted walking along the beach that she had known Dad for most of her lifetime, but I had known him my whole life. As a berry ripens, the cells containing juice grow thinner, and juice spills from one cell to the next. She thinks we're at home in her room, and I hate that we are somewhere else. Her small heeled shoes aren't lined up by the door. Her falling apart cookbook is not in any of the drawers. The smell of her perfume on the pillows grows quiet. Sand is sapped dry by the pull of the tide's magnet. Thank you. Thanks. We have horse blinkers on our intuition, only allowing ourselves a set scope of vision. Dissonant in our cognition, we unfold, holding our time as if it is in someone else's fingers. We give up our own grains out of an instilled guilt and shame, out of a feeling that we were born to rectify sins that were never ours to hold in the first place. Our emperor has no garb on, but he's full up to the brim of garble. Collective blindness draws down our heavy eyelids like closing curtains as to not let the outside light in. These grains we hold slip and ephemerally flit into the seabed that lies between us as islands. When the sediment stirs up, we feel wordless feelings swirl. As universes, we swivel around each other, invisible planets in our orbit. I can see the membrane of your flesh, but not what sparks inside it. There is a depth of us in these waters, deep blues hide these hidden islands, and I can only hope to get to know these through the colors of your iris. Thank you. This is called Strawberries and Mandarins. There were fresh strawberries on the table with their green sprouts taken out. Someone had prepared them for people to enjoy them, and they sat center stage on the wooden table. Amongst crumpled fag butts, ash, and whiskey in mugs, miscellaneous dust was stuck in the nooks and crannies of the mahogany, and I found the fact that these strawberries were center stage funny. But the thought dwindled as the table became blurry, and I wasn't supposed to stay, but the whiskey made me hungry. I woke up under someone's covers, pretending to be their partner, blurry and glazed hand marks slowly erasing. I went downstairs for a Panadol, and half a mandarin was handed to me. I was being polite by taking it and clutched it in my hand silently. The orange segments seeped into each other and into the creases of my palm. I spotted the strawberries on the table, and they had shriveled up and become brown. With the sprout of green in their center, I think maybe they would have lasted longer. Thank you. This is called God the Flitting Moth. I keep trying to etch God onto the inside of my eyelids so that when I blink and close my eyes, I will be divinely guided. And I sometimes in small moments feel that I do capture God briefly. And it's like capturing a flitting moth by cupping it into the palms of my hand, and then quickly it flies off. And I feel I can feel God when I see a red leaf uncling from a twig and fall softly from a tree. When I feel the warmth of a hug from a body that loves me. When I hear the soft timbre of my granddad's croaky voice like an old, gentle oak. And in these moments, it's like a warm breeze full of clarity and electricity blowing through me. But just as quickly, like wind whipping from a passing train that had caught me and held me in the vacuum of its flow, the air and energy are sucked out of that moment. And I am left in silence, trying to think about it, trying to write about it, trying to sing about it, trying to recreate the Creator creatively. But I am shackled to a cave as I try to mold a statue out of the shapes of God's faded shadow. Thank you. Just finished on a little song. If that's okay. Yeah. This is called Hurricane. I have a hurricane swirling through these days. I am inside the eye and feeling sublime. I wonder when the gusts will catch me off guard. But for now my landscape is steady and I have a sense of calm. I have a sense of calm. And life goes by with this wind swirling around my ears. We are solar systems with invisible planets in our spheres. And I try to understand other people's solar systems too. But I can only ever know them from my own point of view. I have a hurricane swirling through these days. I am inside the eye and feeling sublime. I wonder when the gusts will catch me off guard. But for now my landscape is steady and I have a sense of calm. Thank you.
As you can see, I've structured the set list, so I've forced Michelle to come up and down as much as possible. Cara, that was wonderful. It just reminds me of that old saying, what's the difference between a poet and a singer? A singer can sing. That's the end. Before I hand over to our last guest, I hope this gives you an idea of the kind of sense of, or the essence of Sling Slang. It's very open to any sort of kind of mixed medium spoken word or story or song. Generally, we don't really have any instrumentation, but if it's an essential, we'll make slight allowances. But do feel free to pop along. It's very open, very fun, very kind of informal. So we hope to see you on the 20th and going forward. The last guest, I'll never forget, he's a repeat guest we've had. We had him for the first time, I think it was 2018, the first iteration of Sling Slang. And I'll never forget what was described of him, because he was introduced as like speculative fiction, right? And the host at the time was just like, speculative fiction? Like, geez, who does he think he is, do you know? And I was like, yeah. And he went up anyway, and he absolutely blew the roof off the house. And we were like, oh, geez, And the man went, but after that, I suppose you can call yourself anything you want, like, but which I thought was a fair iteration of Sean. So, Spec, if you don't mind coming up and giving us a few moments of your poetry.
Hello, everybody. So, these pieces, some of them are raps, some of them have been written to music, some of them are rappy spoken word things, and they're all in the realm of poetry in one way or another. So, here's one. Terror schemes and Semtex seizures. Best wake up and smell the diesel. Life is stress, but the dead rest easy unless you got an on-off switch like electric heaters. Systematic messages of doom and despair. Suicidal shit like spooning a bear. Sticks in your head like glue in your hair. Fuck learning, that's why Google is there. But this mentality is flimsy and callous, and trying to keep up with it's like sprinting in sandals. I place my focus on linguistics and samples and get respected for my effortless chatter. A scene saturated with raps about other rappers like the shit even matters. Specs on a good thing because it's feckin' timeless like the tetrapod footprints on Valentia Island. Thank you. Right, so here's one I've been writing about these terrible things that we all use and can't stop using. New Year's resolution, blocky phone. You see. Nothing's engrossing, my mind's imploding as my life force decomposes. Deadbeat life coaches spout presupposing notions on the socials, but can't hold an exchange when the phone rings. Eyes glowing, mouths foaming, every old blow-ins after their 15 seconds of gloating, and I need a mechanism for coping. High fashion spiritual teachers choreographed by corporate overseers would have us drink the blood and eat the body till we're entrenched in melancholy. As far as the mind can see, the nightmare grows hyper real. Who needs riot police when they've got you in cryo sleep? Cyberspace and reality morph into a place that's phantasmagoric, where anthropomorphic voices cajole us into baffling choices. We used to be a nation of druids and shamans. Now we're losers like the dad from Shameless. Snowflakes in basket cases who left their souls in some databases. My mind state gets murky like bathwater, trying to bring the heat up like a back boiler. 21st century life can be a slow burner. Bars come and go like phone service. Gotta wake and smell the poppy seeds and stop getting conned like some wallies in a Ponzi scheme. So I face west while the wind blows easterly and try to find a way to wake this beast in me from its fever dream. Online we launch sporadic thoughts at a large expanse. In the grand scheme we've barely made a mark in sand. Living by a code so hard to crack, sometimes you hardly get a wink like Maxi Jazz in that Fateless track. Lie awake, barely got your brain intact. Most never stray or take the adjacent path. We all need some room to breathe and a space for calm. For me, it's in the caravan, reading Kavanagh with a farmer's tan, serenaded as the swallows and the sparrows dance. Okay, I'll do a braggy rap song now. All serious and somber, Colin Farrell in The Lobster. Each laugh implies sorrow, it's black comedy with no wins and no acclaim at the Oscars. It's the second city's heavy hitter, don't be testing if your head's not in it. I wrote this shit while barely thinking, feeling sick and showing symptoms. I keep it blunt and never sharpen the blade, and just for fun I'll chuck your marbles away. My lexicon is lung disease, when you waffle on it smells of odours that a skunk released. Plus so many leeches on my you-know-what, I need to start applying fungal cream. I'm not sure if that even makes total sense, but... started playing fungal cream. And I've blanked on the last part. We're on a David Lynch vision quest, moving closer to the edge with only inches left. I toss my pittance in the wishing well, cause life's a bitch looking for the shift and she'll catch you with the kiss of death. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna do two more. Probably have time for two, right? One more, cool. That's great. This is a nice short one. As the heavens drain, I enter new terrain, where deja vu waves wash me away. Beyond shores of certainty and shifting seas of memory, I contemplate ancient cattle raids through a mist of concurrent states. A megalithic site where we sit a while with Mother Earth and Father Time, a couple mushrooms in the starry sky, for a millisecond glimpsing all possible intersections, a sense of overwhelming connection. A tunnel of iridescence protects us, and I'm not ready to lament our potential. So when there's no space to move in this crowded tomb, let's break out the human zoo and go howl at the supermoon.
Thank you very much. That was absolutely unreal. I hope Maureen's is going to be, you won't be able to get in the door on December 20th because there'll be a queue all down to the river because that was unreal and I'd really recommend checking it out. So big up Sing Slang. So as we just saw, Cork is filled to the brim with talent, and the talent will continue now as I introduce the next open mic showcase, and that is for the Underground Loft. The Underground Loft is a poetry and storytelling open mic event that takes place every second Thursday in the Liberty Bar, South Main Street. So as with the other showcases, I'll hand you over to the MC, Kieran Shanahan, and Kieran is going to introduce the readers for the Underground Loft. And as we mentioned earlier, for anyone who wasn't here, it is an open mic showcase, but it is not a wandering mic showcase. The microphone just has to stay here for our friends on the internet. So please, everybody, give it up for Kieran Shanahan and the Underground Loft.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It's great poetry from Sling Slang. Great to hear. My name is Kieran Shanahan, and I am the founder, the organizer of the Underground Loft, which started March this year, and we've been going strong. We've had 2 homes, and it's been a long way since starting it and having pretty much diplomatic discussions on a UN panel trying to get this organized at the start, but we're a long way from there, and it is great to see people like turn up. It went from, yeah, let's get fucked up on a Thursday night, let's go to Brogue, let's go to Crane, to let's go listen to poetry, to let's go read some poetry. So it's a beautiful thing to see. So I guess you don't really want to listen to a highly fashionable culty ginger for next 5 minutes. So without further ado, I am going to introduce Mr. Adam Jerry, who is an extraordinary poet, and it was actually flew in from England just for this because he was playing American football. I know, very strange to see from a man from Kinsale.
Howdy. That was a nervous thing. I don't normally say howdy. I retitled all these and I lost a lot of the titles of them, so this one's just called Poem 1 in preparation of this, so without further ado, Poem 1. I don't really talk a lot. Man, that's a lie, I talk too much. Really when I speak, it's a ramble though, you know I fucking hate talking about important stuff. Apparently I don't express love enough because you thought I didn't care when I was choking enough. I could only try and go and call your bluff. I never knew what to do when push came to shove. My heart's in this shit, I can't back it up. And fuck what you think, I'm not mad enough. Nigga, I can't eat without you, sleep without you, or breathe without you. I can't laugh this off. You don't want to talk about it, just walk around, and unfortunately it's gonna catch you, bro. I can't stand around just doing nothing, but I can't will myself to fucking say something, so I say nothing and fucking stand here. Stand clear. I'm damn near a breaking point. I had a fear of making noise. I thought I'd leave it to your choice, but your situation's getting worse. Your situation is getting worse. These two didn't really have themes. That first one was about my sister, but this second one really doesn't have theme at all, so it's also just called Poem 2. Overzealous people make me tired. I'm uninspired, but I keep trying like I'm gonna strike diamond if I look enough. Cause see, gold isn't good enough. I'm stumbling my way, and honestly, I'm not looking up until you promise me my honesty will make dividends. But I'll probably stay broke if we're going off past evidence. It's evidence you didn't have a plan when you were building this empire. The scaffolding is trailing off the buildings that we admire, but you still call them beautiful. You never cut corners, but cut your cuticles. It's funny you wash your hands, but my blood is still fucking on them. You talk about talking it out, but I'm getting sick of talking. Finally, one I can talk about a little bit. So, like I said, I flew in from Bristol 3-4 hours ago to catch this because I love that man so much sitting there, that fashionable man right there. And when I was going, I bought a teddy bear for my sister, and my sister isn't talking to my parents right now over some things that happened about a month ago. So in the terminal, I wrote a poem about it. I bought a teddy bear before the plane. I hope you like it. It's strange how nowadays I barely hear from you unless I'm typing. I don't think it's fair how sometimes you assume mom and dad's rules don't adhere to you, but I won't say that. These hours spent idly waiting has given me time to think. I should sleep, but I can't catch a wink. I hear my bad thoughts spiral. I hope weed can appease them. I know they just want someone to talk to, but I can't afford to hear them. Rest not assured. Important or not, I import in brand new feelings and brad throughs the old one before clearing the catalog. So I can find a way to look you in the eyes and smile without lying, to tell you, I don't really know what they're up to, but I think they're trying. We're gonna pack in a funny one before we get to the last three. Me and another friend of mine from the loft, I don't know if he's here today or not, we do this thing every 2 weeks where we go for prompts and see who makes the better poem. The loser has to get the winner a pint. And this one, he goes to his friend Chris, and he says, and Chris just says sandwiches. So this is a poem about sandwiches. If you can't handle the heat, you gotta get out the kitchen. We all start off like dough, soft as shit to add to that description. But you gotta toughen up and form an outer crust. Life's too short to be stale. You gotta win the bread, bring home the bacon. Money makes the world go round, unfortunately. And without it, you're in a bit of a pickle. Now, some pickles are cool. We all gonna make mistakes sometimes. But big pickles really fuck up my appetite. You gotta find out what you want. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. I find life easy when you put the chip on your shoulder aside. It lets us move forward without feeling resistant with every bite. Relax, let your hair down. You don't have to be uptight, but don't get lost in the sauce. You may have to catch up to others if you aren't living right. Life is not a piece of cake, so it won't drop a line about having a cherry on top. But we move on to the next thing so fast we don't relish our achievements. So please, every once in a while, remember to stop and take a bite. All right, that's enough fun. That's enough fun for one evening. Let's get to number 4. I haven't named this one yet either. You'll get the point of it. I'm tall, but not basketball tall. I'm cool, but not quite Samuel Jackson cool. I'm smart, but not quite Harvard smart. And I'm fast, but I'm not quite Sprinter fast. So I guess in a way I'm black, but I'm not quite really black. I used to worry that others would notice that when they see me. And by others, I mean niggas, so excuse me if that made you uncomfortable, but believe me, watching American football on Sundays and celebrating Thanksgiving makes fitting in with Irish niggas not that easy. And my white friends, I'm not gonna turn this into a speech, but when Black Adam hit cinemas, I didn't leave my house for weeks. Displaced by definition, skin color, and character, but the document states I'm a citizen under Varaka by birthright. So how come when I try to act natural in my own home, it still doesn't feel right? For this one, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Are any of you guys familiar with the American football team called the Washington Commanders? They were formerly called thank you, JJ. They were formerly called the Washington Redskins. Does that ring a bit of a bell? There we go. This one is called Memories at a Redskins Game. Just enjoying things while other people aren't, basically. I was 8 when I beat that game. Stayed up all night repeating it just to gain the smallest advantage, and when I went at 1 a.m. I screamed, "What's my fucking name?" That's when Mom and Dad finally stopped yelling to scold me. It's ironic how I only had enough time to create that memory because they were too busy throwing shit at each other to hold me. And that same church dodgeball season, the two of them went undefeated. I guess when you're dodging rubber balls instead of cutlery and lamps, that shit's fucking easy. So I told myself everything happens for a reason. This past evening, I walked past a school friend at both primary and secondary level. One of my oldest friends, if you had to measure. We drifted apart, but didn't trip on it. We texted from time to time. Actually, we only conversed online. But I figured we were cool, so I smiled when I walked by. And I was only met by a small glance at the side of her eye. I buried it at the back of my mind, but wondered why. It's only later when I realized most of her secondary school friends must remind her of a time when she popped antidepressants like candy. She was lying to herself and maybe even her family. She wasn't at a good place at all deep down, and she wasn't happy. And I was just a dumb, edgy kid saying stupid slurs and laughing, not realizing my actions affected her, and I didn't even know what was happening. I got fantastic memories watching Redskins games. Now when I mention them, all I can think is how they cause pain. I'm not bitching or saying people have no right to complain. I'm just wondering how many people I care about today are smiling right now, knowing they're not happy.
You really shouldn't have mentioned the sandwich because now I'm fucking hungry. So next up is another, I guess, the second part of that rivalry, I guess, with the sandwich prompt. And he has stepped up many times in the loft, and I had to actually host the loft one night, and he did a brilliant job from what I heard. I didn't hear, I got food poisoning from Supermax. I can say that, I worked for that company for years, it's fine. So next up is the wonderful Keen Walsh.
Yeah, when I wrote that sandwich poem, mine was way sadder and no one really cared for it, and then Adam came in and just made everyone laugh. He deserved the point, really. So You know those movies that are about like tortured artists, you know, like kind of like Black Swan, Whiplash, them sort of ones, and you know you kind of think, oh, that's so me. I'm just like them. I'm so tortured and in pain, and I deserve the world. This was me when I wrote that. This. When I started to write, I was probably upset, angry, proud, or horny. Probably a grotesque cocktail of the lot. Words felt like energy to me, like the light that reaches my eyes in a matter of seconds that I can't measure. The sound that reaches my ears that is somehow slower. It was easy, almost. I showed my works to some. I hid it from others, whether for my benefit or theirs. I used it to impress girls, to wow my peers. Maybe just putting my fist through a wall seemed unreasonable. And it always does. So that very rage, that lack of stoicism that makes me a hedonistic craft of passion, that's what I have left. That's what remains from the good intentions of a boy who needed a hobby. All that's there is the mindless numbing of cash registers, small talk, and crossing the street when the man turns green. When in the event of such mundane, I want to fucking scream. Scream my own name because I don't see it in flashing lights. Tell a past loved one that she's more to me than she'll ever understand. Tell another that I'm allowed to be pissed off even when I'm not. Put my mother in her dream house by the marina in Skull where her and dad may never worry because finally I did it. Finally, I'm whole. Thanks. This next one is about recently moved houses, and that's a weird thing to do when you're like basically an adult, because when you leave your childhood home, you're there being like, no, it's my room and it has everything I like, and it's like, Ian, you're 20 in a week and a half, get over it, you know? So yeah, it's a weird thing to come around to, but this was a moment where it felt really weird. It was 2 days before I'd leave my childhood home. There was a fog surrounding its 4 outer walls, like nothing I'd ever seen before. It was all still, windless. The whole view of the village was blocked by the fog. Where I'd normally see the lights from people's houses and the sign for the petrol station, there was only darkness. The smoke from my cigarette wouldn't blow away. It remained around my head like a dark cloud following me. It was as if I was required to take in this still moment. Like I was frozen forcefully so I wouldn't forget 17 years I've been here. Heartbreak, laughter, broken plates, mirrors, wardrobe doors and drawers, tears, blood, and every other memory I'd had, the house wanted me to remember. It hoped I wouldn't leave having forgotten it. Perhaps it knew I was ignoring the move, just grinning painfully through until Dad was yelling at me while we tried to move the kitchen table. The house didn't want me to leave. My home didn't want to be anyone else's, anything else's. Maybe it knew the lies I told about the place getting too big for the three of us. Maybe it knew Mom was sick and laboring all day just to get to sleep. The house didn't want me to leave. I didn't want to either. I didn't want to lose my home because of the evil that surrounded it, the evil that plagued my childhood without me ever knowing, that plagued my mother's, that she could never escape. The house didn't want me to leave, and I fucking hate it for that. Thank you. I have no description for this, so deal with it. I walked into the room with nothing more than a single lamp. It sat there in the middle of the floor and brought a glow to the previously dark walls I wouldn't otherwise see how far they stretched. I stood there concerned, wondering why fate brought me so little in this time of need, why a single lamp would provide anything more than a raised eyebrow and drawn-out metaphors. But I played the weirds game, which is a very weird game, and I circled the lamp slowly. Every step I saw shadows dancing around my own, simulating beauty and passion, the type I'd come to know. And I heard a voice through these movements. I heard laughs and tears, retches and dry heaves, mirrors breaking, blood dripping and glasses clinking. I heard the sound of a tree's shade from the sun I was happy to know was once above me, and then spoken word had entered the fray. I love you, I hate you, I feel like you've changed, all familiar to me except for one. It's good to see you, were the words uttered. That's definitely not what I'm used to, but alas, there was a shadow that leaned against my own. The shadow told me it had been too long, to which I'd assume was by design of my nature of labored love. The shadow didn't speak for a second, didn't have to. It was all there again. everything before hello. That never left and perhaps in a world of shadows stayed in a room similar to this, but where the lamp never turned off. I knew I wished the most wealthy and powerful could know the shadow so they'd know nothing could ever compare or replicate. I saw the concept of poverty be stomped upon, as no man could ever be poor if the shadow followed them too. I saw divinity in a dark, faceless figure. It wouldn't have taken me 3 days to rise from my tomb. And if I'm to be driven mad by this shadow, I only hope they allow a lamp in my rubber room. Thank you. This one's about a date I went on one time. That's it. Your hands were colder than mine. You argued me on that. You argued me on nearly everything. It made you laugh to contradict me, but your amusement was my own. Seeing your smile and being its reason made a simple candlelit table brighter than the most beautiful mornings. Seeing you blush was almost as amazing as you denying it. I couldn't pick a favorite thing about you. It would only bring me to the next, and the next, and the next, before I thought of a million more. I should call her, shouldn't I? Oh, God. Long Sunday night, I tell you. All right, this will be my last one. This is on a happy note, because who doesn't like those? I hope you keep hoping for all the better tomorrows, that you stay the course even when life is a trolley problem. You don't hold fear. Grasp your worries and tested soul, that the world stays the same as when we first met. I hope you keep being you, whoever that may be, but that your faith in them be as it always has, certain, unafraid, willing. I hope you're always who I met, because time changes some and builds others, but you, my friend, you need never be different. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Tortured Artist, who writes poetry after one date and has a podcast. Thank you. So I'd just like to thank everyone for sitting through this. But thanks for the invitation. We much appreciated. And it's really nice how the loft itself has become a community of all sorts, from people not from Cork, who's finding their feet, and especially people who go, I can't read poetry, and then you question them a little bit, and then they have like 4 notebooks of it. So sometimes, and then you're gently trying to kick them up the ass you can do this. But next up, if you can move your chairs, because I say you want to go into the fetal position and cry after this, it is wonderful, wonderful poetry of M. So a round of applause for him.
Thank you. Hi everyone, thanks so much, Kieran, for the introduction. Before I start, I want to let everyone know I have a speech impediment. If I stutter, it is not intentional unless it improves the general experience, in which case it absolutely is. And you're welcome. Okay, I'm gonna start with It Came to Me on a Wednesday. It came to me on a Wednesday in its visitation attire, cocaine, white shirt and funeral suit, freshly polished shoes, trousers newly hemmed, clean face shaven, crust from its eyes removed. It came without noise but bearing gifts, presented in a cupped, damp hand. It brought the curdle of milk and the hatching of maggots, the black mold in rented rooms, boreen-adjacent mist and the familiar pang of want. The smell of insipid decay, soup wrapped in masking tape, fresh fruit, the flesh of a preteen child, layers and layers of plastic bag, hope. the ability to see through the hole in the wall, an extra sense or two, a very sad man in his nightgown, the lack of domesticated pigeons these days. It gave me all of this and it left without word, left me to put these things into allocated spaces, cluttered shelves and stainless steel cabinets, chests of drawers, hanging baskets. It will visit again, I was told, by a message that fell from the sky and flitter, flutter, floated down, laid in the dirt until I picked up the envelope and held it to my chest, tea stained and one eye not dotted, opened it, a careful peel, Saturday can't come soon enough. All right, I don't really have stories for my poems. I don't really know where they come from, but this one, I'm just gonna say, I was talking to everyone about it for like a month beforehand. I was like, this is so good, this is amazing. And then I forgot about it for 6 months. So yeah, this is my first time ever reading it. I've said it's amazing now, that's awful, that's really embarrassing. I hope you enjoyed anyway. The man that I love is awoken, informed of a dreadful, perverted, godless act, so he makes his way down the mountain exclaiming, sickness, oh, isn't it always? And he has to make sure that he doesn't slip, though the mud beneath his boots, the scatter of the scree, the knolls upon the sickly trunks of shallow-rooted tree, ground that shifts when it comes into contact with feet. Skin that grazes, necks that break, underwear that stays on, sexuality awoken but dazed. We all know that men are delicate. As are ropes and genitalia, as are social norms in a century changed entirely before buried plastic rots. And although this town is hard and cold, there's still so much that's soft, too much. Although a throat, while strong and warm, provides us with a life, it's also true that life can and will be ended by a pair of nylon tights. Blue lips never spoke too much anyway. Blue lips, you aren't my lover. Blue lips, long forsaken air and embraces the presence of an absence, nestled into paradox, nonsense, comforts, and confronts me. I am a child again. Discussing art history with my lover that evening, allegories, that's all he will speak about. Try not to correct him, but he incorrectly defines fertility, a promise of what is to come, substituted for an already existing child, already existing children, and mothers. I am with child again. The man that I love is awoken, informed of an act of sorts, a process, a laceration, an extensive loss of blood, a heartbeat that slows, and a strange kind of reckoning. There has been a birth. Do I have time for 2 more? Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, this one is called Freeze Thaw Action, and someone once told me I hate that name because it sounds like Junior Cert Geography, and I was like, well, I've only ever done Junior Cert Geography, so what am I supposed to call it otherwise? So here we go. In case of emergencies, or whatever I class as them, wrap my organs in greaseproof paper, spill the fat into a skillet, feed me to the pigs. In case of emergencies, or whenever you get nervous, use my skeleton as decoration, my teeth as jewelry, my skin as curtains in your bedroom. In case of emergencies, or whoever will not grieve, my bloodshot acquaintances, waterlogged and mottled enemies, conflicted lungs full of brine. In case of emergencies, or however they come to you, armed and dangerous, of risk to themselves and others, not sad at all, in case of emergencies, or wherever you send them, to the steadfast groves of trees losing leaves, hills of amber and crimson, powder-dusted mountains, waterfalls of ice. The glacier's retreat, you watch paint dry, die in the same seat. Okay, thanks everyone. This is my last one. Yeah. I carry it on my person. Nasal drip, drip, drip from my mother trickled down into my back pocket, soaking denim jeans with ethanol and apple juice, crusted throat blood, and my adenoids in a small gauze bag. Sometimes I have to dig through those pockets to find what I'm looking for. I wish they were larger, but I can only hold so much. which is why I have a backpack. The startling tick, tick, tick of the clock on the wall of the exam room. The supervisor didn't know about the soon-to-be utilized pregnancy test, zipped up and secure, unboxed but covered beside books on French grammar, a journal entry about my first kiss with her, everything else about her too, her hand in the waiting room, dry and chill. I felt so full. I loved her. I wish I had told her. I'm so cold these days. Which is why I have a scarf of violent purple to remind me of the hit from my stepfather's rough hands in our kitchen, struggling for breath as he squeezes, releases, cackles. My fear then, my insistence that underneath fleece blankets, boys do the same to me now. While I hide my past in the space between the duvet and its cover, hands on my neck, on my waist, I'm 15 again, in video, a picture. I wish I could sustain these things. I am so lonely, which is why I have a handbag, sitting pretty while I sip, sip, sip a vodka white, save the ice, while a man points out at the bag and asks what I keep inside. And he doesn't really want to know, but I tell him. It's the hair of my child, the blood of my brothers, the skin of my sisters, the fingernails of my stepfather, the sounds and spaces in the broken bottles, the epidural, the forgiveness I lent to my mother, my daughter's first laugh, her tiny fingers and the way that she squeezes my hand while we are walking her dog, the story she tells, the fact that she knows nothing about what I've done, and I hope she never does, and the man has stopped listening, but I talk and talk and talk to myself until my voice is hoarse, and I'm the last one left in the bar, and the bartender is asking me to leave, so I do, and for once, I'm happy to be outside, the chill, a familiar pinch, the darkness, a spectacular bruise. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful. Thank you so much. That was the Underground Loft showcase that we just watched. And I really want to commend Kieran on coming. Kieran. And, you know, in a relatively short space of time, coming down to Cork from Tip and finding a new space, filling it with new writers. It was my first time there last Thursday, and that's such a nice time, to be honest. It was really, I think a lot of things tend to filter down from the MC's ethos and the organised ethos, and as you've seen, Kieran's very honest, cut and dry, humorous person, but I think a lot of the readers there really kind of very comfortable to, you know, wear their heart in their sleeve and show some new stuff. Would have met a lot of students of writing, of film, of acting there as well. So there's a lot of interesting stuff being played around with. So that's not on this Thursday, but Thursday week. The 14th of December will be the next one, and that's upstairs in the Liberty Bar, and it's a free event as well. So I just want to check, are any of our Ubuntu session with us yet? I think, oh, we have a break. Okay, we have a 15-minute break, and we'll be back with our next two showcases. Enjoy, see you then. Unfortunately, so because this is all being live streamed online, this is the online mic which we can't move, so we are kind of restricted to staying there. I mean, unless you guys want to project or whatever, but we do have to just keep the mics still. Nice one. Hello everyone, I'm just going to invite you to take your seats as we're just about to resume. So thank you so much, welcome back, and welcome back to all of our online audience as well. So before the break, we just saw two wonderful showcases from Sling Slang and the Underground Loft, and we're just about to witness two more. So the next showcase that I'm going to present is called Ubuntu Sessions. It is on in the Haven Cafe, just down the road from the former Gate Cinema, Dormant Cinema now. And it's on every Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. I think it's about maybe 6 months old, 6 weeks old, or it's a relatively new event. But everyone involved in setting this up have been the kind of people, the kind of artists you can't keep up with. They're been contributing to culture and the arts in Cork for so many years, not just with words, but in visual art, in music, I'd really encourage you to look into their works individually as well. Cliff was also telling me just now about projects they're involved with, creating music and showcases with children in direct vision, with a large showcase in City Hall coming up. So really glad that you could all make the time to join us today. And we are hoping that their MC and last performer might walk in the door any moment. But in the meantime, since we have Cliff and Rafa here, I'm going to invite either one of you that'd like to go first. So Rafa.
Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Oh, okay. Good. Cool. You're still awake. Okay. So my name is Rafael Olimpio. I'm a rapper and spoken word artist, so I'm going to share some spoken word with you today. I'm going to start with my first piece called Inquisition, and it's kind of just a questioning of myself and I guess my environment and people around me. Who am I? Relented in my determined inquisition, who am I? A pretentious attention-seeking and insecure human who confides in the world that only leads to daily admission, or you want to start conversing, put me in a box confessing, man, it's nonsense, I need change, so give me back my 5 cents. Hold up by, got a notification. The trades of the media has become a part of my acquisition. Stupidities in orbit like common viral infections. Infect the most simpletons, baptize them with foreign sense, and there goes your innocence. Caesar season you citizens with this full-blown experience, leaving you with this Frankenstein frankincense. Does that make sense? Or am I lost in my aura? Membrane split diaspora, bipolar, bare by the polar. I'm in need of still waters, please take me to the green pastures before I lose myself and mind. Born free in this world, so why am I so confined? To let them define me an alien to the propaganda of their citizens and their citizens. Lord knows I'm trying to stay vigilant. Is there no remorse for those who share their daily bread? Or do we find identity in chains that don't reflect who we are? Who am I? Thank you. My next piece is called Migration. I'm just trying to find it here. It's been a while since I looked through this book. It's one of the first poems I wrote that was ever published, so quite proud of that. Bear with me now. Migration, an odyssey beyond compare, a journey of the heart and soul, weaving together tribes and cultures rare to forge anew a destined role. From music's soulful melodies to the languages that we speak, migration brings a symphony of human diversity unique. Born of migration, I am a child of the universe's ebb and flow, my very essence undefiled, a story of lands I'll never know. Migration brings not only love, but also war and endless strife, a push and pull like the tides above, shaping human destiny and life. But within each migrant's journey lies a light of hope and dreams, a chance to start anew, a key to break free from life's monotonous seams. In the world's grand tapestry, migration is the warp and weft, bringing colors, patterns, and harmony, a symphony of human depth. So let's raise a hymn to migration, a force of life that can't be denied, a catalyst for human elevation, a journey of the heart and the mind. and my last piece is called 1998. This was an era, I guess, in my childhood where I kind of started delving into hip hop and rap music. So it was originally a rap song, but I'm going to slow it down for you and do it as a spoken word piece. So we grew up and never questioned where we came from. Ate grub like kings, queens, and then some. Good times when Nas and Jay went platinum. We grew out our afros so Ma could plot some. Before 2K got us looking like B2K, it was pandemonium. I felt colder than Ice Cube and ice boxes or Marion. Handful of compliments for all her sons so handsome. It was never lonesome. Family mattered, quality time around the Samsung. Played Black Wall Street, no diggity on repeat. Break dancing did it with ease. Played football right on the streets. Played fighting like DBZ. Learned English from foreign peeps. Learned English from foreign beats. And Ma switched plates, had cheerful hearts clapping. I'm talking turntables, hot tortilla spinning. Never a hangry moment, just blissful satisfaction. Never an angry moment, just love and all its actions. We watched movies in the cold, dark evenings. First generation watching Disney, MTV, and Nickelodeon. Unload today's burden, take me back and make a load again. Cause those feelings of home is what I'm chasing alone again. On the road with a Japanese car to start with. Gospel tapes in the brown 87 Toyota Starlet. Reminiscent to Golden Gate Quartet, CeCe Winans, Aretha Franklin. Road trips with Tracy Chapman, Eminem, Pac and Common. And MJ before his skin condition. And let me ask you, do you feel conditioned? In retrospect, I feel like I'm on stage because I feel conditioned, because I feel like it's the only way you're gonna listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. I'm now going to, YP and Zero have arrived in time. I'm going to pass over the hosting to Sahiro now to introduce the rest of the poets.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. How's everybody doing tonight? Hi. Wow, lovely faces in the audience. Great to see. How you doing? Oh, okay. Yeah, my name is Sahiro, and as you can tell, I'm from Balavalan. Yes. I was imported here 17 years ago by my parents. Yes. Yes, imported. Because it wasn't by choice, but I'm happy for the choice my parents made, and shout outs to them. But yeah, that's just a little bit about myself. Just to let you guys know, yeah. Just like some random thing just came onto the stage. But yeah, I'm part of the Ubuntu sessions. It's an open mic sessions we do every Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. You're all welcome to join. I want to see you guys there. Excuse me, ma'am, in the checkered top. How you doing? Hi, what's your name? Therese, lovely name. Nice to meet you. Sahid is my name. You strike me as someone with a creative endeavor. Would I be right to say that? Seeing is a poetry night, you know. You don't know? Okay, well, Ubuntu sessions, Friday, 6 a.m. You can get to find out. But yeah, that's just basically what we do, just at open space and the Avon Cafe. It's a lovely place. You come in and get a coffee as well. A nice place to be. So yeah, that's the plugs done. Is this streaming? Yeah. Oh, hello, Instagram. Hi. Oh, no worries, sorry. I was like, hi. Can they see me? Hey, you choose. Hello, mama. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's nice. I guess I'm going to introduce the next poet to us. He's also part of the Ubuntu sessions. He's a rapper, musician, overall artiste, I like to say. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Cliff Massetti, please.
Right, how's everybody doing? Everybody good? Let me hear you say hell yeah. Hell yeah. You get me? I might just start rapping here, though, but that's not what we're here for. So I'm not really a poet. I'm more of a rapper, but I'll just try this. So basically, I feel like all rap and everything is poetry. It's an art using words to express yourself. So I just have 2 pieces. The first piece is called Man in the Mirror. It's about reflection. It's about insecurity, doubt, and trying to find yourself in this crazy world. I wake up feeling nothing's impossible. I've got big dreams, all I see is little obstacles. On cold nights, dreams of being somewhere tropical. So much on my mind got me thinking philosophical. I'll be like, what does this all mean? I don't really care, cause I know I'm gonna win. And if I get lost, let love intervene. You couldn't find your way out of the places I have been. I've been through every graduation by my own, so when I say congratulations, hear the envy in my tone. My poor mama on the verge of giving up. Through all the drama which karma could interrupt. I'm in the dark and I wanna see the light again. I've broken hearts, so I never know what might have been. Once I walk a arch, like Leonardo had it right again. I've lost so much, I forgot what it was like to win. In my heart, in my core, is a vacant space, and in my mind, there's a war that is taking place. Man in the mirror, only one I'm up against. Man in the mirror, only one I'm up against. Thank you. So the second piece is to do with war. It's called propaganda. It's about how we are all drawn into this game. They play with our emotions, but at the end of the day, the true causes of war, it's about resources, and all of us become victims. They don't care about the innocent. So propaganda makes you wonder, what's the spell that they have us under? There's a silent war on peace. They use violence as a leash. Armed forces fight for resources, don't care about the corpses. So I don't care about no speech from no damn ambassador while there's kids out here getting massacred. A stray bullet with no name on it. Friendly fire with too much flame on it. For the minerals that are lying under, funerals from landmines under. The foreign soil is the canvas, blood spilt is the paint, the brush is what the gun does. They rewrite history if we let them tell it, gather our remains and call them relics. In museums, you'll find them labeled as art, corrupt our minds, stain our hearts. Thank you.
Away with these.
Oh yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Cliff. That was beautiful. Nice one. Art and propaganda at this very moment is a very topical thing, controversial, some would say. And yeah, not me though. Not me. Like, I'm so Cork now, ladies and gentlemen. This is not in the stand-up rooms. I'm a stand-up comedian by trade. If you haven't guessed yet, if it wasn't funny. Well, so I'm gonna make this my own room. They say, so you guys, I'm from Cork, and you guys say, how Cork are you? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, recently we tried that all again for the guys on the live stream. Okay. So lately I got a DNA test from TikTok. It's a new trend. Yeah. It told me I am 2% Cork. Oh no. No way. Okay, it's a new piece. Okay. I'm gonna slow it down. That's what the poetry guy said as well. All right. I just did a DNA test from TikTok, and it told me I was from Cork. How are you? 2%. I'm so Cork now. My pronouns are Fiend, yeah, Sham, yeah, and I'm a bio as well, like John. Like, I'm so Cork. My best friend is the Echo Man. Yeah. There's only one left. We need to bring that job back. I'm just saying. Yeah, if the lads, that's something worth fighting for. Do you know what? They say immigrants are taking our jobs. Fucking hell, that's one job. Someone needs to take. Okay. Okay. So I'm also from Nigeria. That's why it was imported from by my parents here to do it. It's a nice transition, like, you know, because I grew up in Balavalan the last 17 years. And Balavalan in Nigeria is quite same but different. Yeah, in the same, like, it's the same type of weather. Yeah, it's wet in Nigeria. It's also wet in Balavalan. The people are nicer in Balavalan. Yeah, yeah. I played GA also. Now I'm just telling you about my biography, really. Yeah, I played GA also. Any GA people in the house? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you just have to get into it. Like, it's just one of those things. What about you, sir? Did you? Yeah, where did you play GA? Mad, I live in Mayfield now. Okay. Which team is that? Sorry. In Hurling, okay. I play for the Glen Rovers. They're okay too, but they're better than the Pearshigs, I tell you that now. That is one rivalry I had to get into. Like, I just came from Nigeria to Balavalan, and all of a sudden I'm like, you have to hate these people from the Pearshigs. They have never done nothing to me. Then I played against them, and I went up to Farnry one time, and I was like, yeah, maybe. Okay. That's enough for me now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being so receptive. Before we bring on the next act, I'm just going to do a bit of a woo. Okay. So 3, 2, 1. Woo! 3, 2, 1. Woo! All right, let's keep the energy going as I bring up to our next poet, Outsider YP.
Hello, my name is Outsider YP. I am a musician / poet with Ubuntu Sessions. And I have a piece here called Us and Them. And I'm just going to read that off. And then I have 2 more pieces after that. And I think then we will complete our mission. This piece is called Us and Them, all the same. Wandering souls gather, clash and collide, often pushed aside in disregard. Thoughts and whispers scream, both terrified, attacked until we break into a million shards, trembling in the shadows as we pray for a brighter light. They reopen our wounds when we lose our guard, infected with the disease and lies, hiding behind smirks and waning smiles, long forgotten that once they were I. As time continues and the past it hides, a deer before, a wolf today, a deer no more, a sheep before, a beast tomorrow, no sheep anymore. Monsters can only create more and more, and flowers must just endure, shedding petals all pure and pure, but deep down the roots it burns, unsure, unsure. I wrote this next piece at work today while being a barista and serving people. And I was just kind of deep in thought, and I was like, oh, I should write something new for tonight. So it is unrehearsed. I don't have a title for it yet, but I just wrote it, and I thought I'd share this piece with you guys today. I'm not crazy. I can see the future. My anxiety-riddled mind will be slain as my soul glides on the clouds of plane. I'm not crazy as I obsess over the endless possibilities and through these words express my vulnerabilities. I'm not crazy. All roads lead to perish, the connections between I and the ones that I cherish. I am not crazy. These thoughts drenched in blood, failing to escape the dark and mud. Just one more pint in our favorite pub, never enough to puke out these deep despairs and thoughts. I'm not crazy, but the human experience often leads to twisted ideas and tangled emotions, drunk and wobbly eyes, failing to see through the clear and obvious facade and lies. the masks we wear to hide ourselves and hide from ourselves as we, all, and them and us, stand in fear, unison, scared, in tears, shattered in pieces and bruised. I fear we may never get back up again. I am not crazy, but I might be in denial. This last piece is actually similar to Cliff's. It's a song, one that I actually never released. I kind of wrote the verse, learned the verse, and then just never did anything with it. So it's a piece, it's one of my favorites though when it comes to what it speaks about. It's a little short piece, and it's called Medicine. Welcome to the belly of sinking, drowning, burning up. Barely any peace, but pieces always loaded up. That piece around my neck, another chain around my brain, keeping me from freedom, but I'm free as I can be in a world inside a box, limited by photography and all that the eyes can see. And see, we see when we look at mirrors and perceive our echoes, reflection, the water, it echoes, reflection. We lose ourselves in thoughts and we fall deeper, no affection, and possessed, we feel infected. And in denial, we rush and run and hurry away from the life that we once loved, we bury. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Before I go again, I just want to quickly remind us about the Ubuntu sessions. What day? What days? What time? Okay, you guys are listening. I like that. I actually like that. Okay, we'd like to see you there. Once again, thank you for having us down on Eagle Place. This is a pretty nice place. My first time ever being in here. No, probably second time, yes. I tell a lie. First time being in this part of the building. And it's cooler. I will make another visit. There's like a bookshop downstairs. Yeah, I might take up reading. Just start doing spontaneous shit like that. Maybe. But yeah, I'll leave you with this knock knock. Honda boys. Bye-bye.
So much. Everybody give it up again for the Ubuntu sessions and Sahido's styling. We're so lucky in Cork to have so much talent, like as we just saw there. It's really amazing and we're very lucky to be living here. But the talent doesn't stop at the city borders. It doesn't stop at Bishopstown or Ballincollig. It continues out as far as Clonakilty, even. And in Clonakilty, monthly, you will find in Debarra's spoken word poets who are also very, very good. So I'm very happy to be introducing Debarra's spoken word, and the MC who's going to go through that with you is Mose Jacobs. So give it up for Mose, please.
Thank you very much, Shauna, who was one of our special guests at Debarra Spoken Word on the memorable date of 3 March 2020. Little did we know what was going to happen afterwards. But I have to say that even though there's a lot to be said about COVID that isn't good, but in a way we had very memorable sessions on Zoom as well and had an international group of people joining us. The Bar Spoken Word started, we just celebrated our 10th anniversary, so we are ancient in many, and we're also in a part of, I'm from Holland originally, but I've been here 25 years, so I've sort of, how do you say that? I've absorbed the DNA a little bit. Some people ask me, Are you Irish now? No, I don't think so, but I don't think that really matters in some ways, and it matters a lot in others, because obviously in a small town in West Cork, you have, what we try to do is also, keep local influences even increasingly. Like someone had a poem about 1998. Well, we're going to have a session about 1798 at the end of January, because we do something about local history with reenactment, not with the video about reenactments, etc. So we also try to keep ourselves entertained, getting in music, getting in musicians, sometimes doing things with different groups. And actually, for the next, no, I'm not going to talk about 10 years, but for the next year or so, we would like to invite more groups of people from elsewhere. And this was it's a beautiful set of sessions with so much talent, as you say, and so much new energy, which is lovely and great. Our first poet is Margaret O'Regan, originally from Clonakilty, but now in Cork City. Margaret? Oh, you're here, sorry. I was just, wow, she's disappeared. That's not Margaret, because she may not be among the tallest people in the room. She's also called the Pocket Rocket by that woman over there who's going to. She's also called the Silver Fox by that woman over there who's written a poem about her. And she really has guts. Margaret is one of the bravest women I know. She demonstrates, she fights for women's rights, and she, and she is not afraid to write about sexuality, and we welcome her here on stage.
Thanks, Bob. Thank you, Mosa, for that great introduction. I love the fact that Clonakilty is my hometown, and it's also the town of the Borough Spoken Word. I'm living in Cork City for over half a century, and of course, very involved with O'Vale as well. This first one is called Break Up, and it was a prompt in the Blue Mondays group. The founder is here, Sue Blue. So anyway, break up. There are phases in life that phase us, hitting us right between the eyes. Like an arrow finding its target, some things happen just as they ought. Last week, when my husband uttered those fateful words so cutting, "I want a divorce," says he, my surprise so evident to see. But my surprise was not at his words. It was simply what he had just opined mirrored what I had in mind. There is a lesson in this. Marital harmony can exist when two minds apart come together to part. A fellow activist, musician, Martin Leahy, has been travelling from West Cork to Dublin every single Thursday to sing his song called "Everyone Should Have a Home." And the illustration on the screen is a painting by my good friend John Neville, and it depicts Martin in front of the Dáil, front of the Irish House of Parliament, every single Thursday. And the past Thursday was week 81. He never missed a Thursday. So I wrote an acrostic poem, and it's for Martin Leahy. And of course, Martin Leahy is written on the left-hand side. Martin making waves, aloof prison bars in your face, not phased, ringing out loud, landlords and government, hear out. Thursday's battle cry resounding through those iron rails. Into the seat of power, it penetrates. No lock or key can shut out sound. Lifting up lives, challenging, live. Each week, outside, words wafting in. All inside their moneyed minds cannot drown out your sound. Here and now, calling out, through those bars, through those walls, year in, year out, housing is a basic human right. Martin Leahy, you should look him up, and he has just written a song called Palestine. It's free to download. Please like and share it if you listen to it and you think it's good. It's absolutely, we use it on all the marches now, all the rallies, everywhere we go. Anywhere he's free, he has to come along and sing Palestine in addition to his housing song for the other demos. This next one is called Empathy, and it refers to if you're in a child's life from the day they're born and they become an adult and they do something that is a crime and maybe they end up in jail and you're fairly shocked and you look back at the whole thing. So empathy, to look outside oneself, to move outside oneself, to see society's monster as a human askew, a human I knew from day one, to watch, rejoice, celebrate, participate, all the steps of your life, through school and beyond. To look and not see, to know and not know, the demons inside you, the urges outside you, the demon possession, not sought, not chosen. This one, I'm going on to a different sort of topic, is called On Fire. You turn the leaf and another chapter is in your mind, in my mind, taking shape, the shape of you, the feel of you, all that we do, all that we are, orbiting my mind, your mind. The swirls and swirls, twirling, burning, on fire. How am I for time? This one is called Nostalgia, but it's future nostalgia. It depicts something that's happening in real life now, but I'm imagining looking back at it in 10 or more years' time. So, nostalgia. From the top deck, the bus passes. My house then, I see the top window. Oh, the flashes of memory, still. You behind, me looking out at the passing bus, just like now. Reversed in space and time, transported back, feeling you, feeling me. I'll finish with this one. Your scent lingers. The pillow remembers. I sleep in your essence.
Thank you very much, Margaret. That was beautiful. And I love the energy as well. The next poet is Blowing Like Myself, a Frenchman, Sébastien Revon, or Sep. I met him as a musician, but he's doing haiku, which, as most people will know, is a Japanese form. I can't see him. Seb, where are you? Is there? Okay. Hiding. Sébastien Revon. And
I'll switch it up. That's okay, I can do without. All right, hi. So as you can hear, I'm French. I'm very French, living 15 years in Ireland. But yeah, I write haiku in English and French, of course. And the first piece, I'm gonna need Catherine because it's a renge. A renge is a short form of linked poetry. You can do that 2 people or 3 people or 6. There are 6 verses, and this one I wrote it with a Welsh haiku writer, Anne Smith. And so I start the first verse, and Catherine will help me for the rest of that linked poem. It's called Live Streaming. Waterfall, the time it takes her to say yes.
In the spray splashes of rainbow.
Blind love, salmon leaps upriver.
Below the long-tongued room, a heron still.
The frost moon sets on her finger.
Drowning a damselfly whirlpool.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Pas de problème. Oh, no worries. So next, I'm gonna read 10 haiku in no particular order, although I wrote them in that order. So I'll see. So haiku is usually you use seasonal words, kigo. In Japan, they have 5 seasons. The extra season is the new year. So you need to use a word that sets the mood and gives the atmosphere of the poem, even though short. Most of them here have no seasonal word. I'm trying to do without, but trying to set a mood anyway. The wind, a love letter leaving the trench. Black hole, from my coffee springs forth the cry of a crow. Traffic jam, I turn off the radio to better see the moon. Early autumn, a dead butterfly on the conscience. Pharmacy shifts bottled emotions. Down by the riverside, someone else's to-do list. Grey dawn, the night scatters into crows. All day I've done nothing. The bug moon rises. "4 a.m., the silence in A major. Winter wind, a child pushes an empty swing." Thank you. So my last piece normally is with music, but it's okay. I don't mind. You think so? Yeah. I could fuck it up anyway. So. The piece is called Salvation. A dandelion clock, escaping chaos. Our DNA, our tools, launching into the void. Past Jupiter, past the storms, the fragile heart beats. Rebirth, the great red eye watching over us. Past Saturn, glistening loops reflecting dreams woven of flesh and metal. Wayfarer on the dark motorway, a remnant of life. Past the seventh planet, with its oceans of ice, bringing hope to the mission. Primordial sky, the gentle push and pull of creation. Past Neptune, beneath sapphire veils, a yearning stirs, a blend of soul and steel. The mystical, closing the room of what we know. Past Pluto, our memory keeps traveling into the silence, bridging the gap through nothingness, a space probe. Only 16 light years away, Proxima Centauri b, the planet GJ 1002b, our beacon. We might settle there with what remain of ourselves. Sailing into infinity, inside the space probe resounds the dawn chorus. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Seb. That was beautiful. And yes, the dawn chorus. Poetry is something that gets people, affects people emotionally. Not always, but it's really beautiful to see how it can resonate, how you can resonate with an audience. And I think, like, I was talking to Stan Knott recently about public speaking, and he said that public speaking is a great fear among people, even maybe as bad as the fear of death, because we're afraid to open up. But what happens in all these open mic and in all these poetry groups is that people do open up bit by bit, and also learn to see that they're okay, because they can talk and other people can listen, and that's okay. We're all okay, basically. We have a team in the Barras, the person who started it, Nick, and myself, who teamed up with him, and then at during COVID. Catherine Ronan came on the team, and Margaret, and Lauren O'Donovan, Paul McMahon, and Stan Nutt. And it's a pleasure to introduce Catherine at this momentous period in her lives, because she's been writing poetry since she was 9, which is quite a long time. But and she's now launching her first poetry collection with Revival Press. So it's going to be a bit of a party in the Barras on the 6th of December. And please, what? Oh, okay, in Kinsale as well. Yeah, but that's the competition, sorry. No, this is Catherine Ronan with her book, Elemental Skin.
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, Paul, and to all the team at Rovale. My launches are the 6th of December in the Barras, Clonakilty. That's going to be the major one, Mose, don't worry. Prim's Bookshop on the 7th at 6 p.m. and the People's Museum in Limerick at 7:30 on the 13th of December. Anyone can have one launch, so why not have 3? I have been waiting a long time for this. Before I start reading from the book, I will read the very first poem that I ever wrote when I was 9 years of age. My jeans are dirty, I have no others. I'd wear some clean ones if they'd been washed by my mother. So what better poem to start with tonight? Silver Fox from Margaret O'Regan. Pagan shield maiden, urban street warrior, casts off the night, coaxes kings nude. Stories in every pocket, a laugh to crack stones. Tweed tickling toes, soul in the ether of forever. Fire red strong, words, banners, irreverent sinner, soil, crescent, arrow. Silver fox mounts the dawn and yawns. Job done. Earth tilts once more to the sun. A meteorite lands in our hands. Now, well, I had a fantastic interview with Mose, with my publisher Dominic Taylor of Revival Press, and it's online, I believe, because somebody came up to me today and said it's online. So Mose, we're up. And one of the things we discussed in that interview was coping with rejection, and does it get easier or does it stay the same, or And I know, speaking from personal experience, sometimes when I don't, get published in a journal, and I go and buy the journal, I could have bought it before and buy it afterwards and say, I don't understand it, I don't understand. But anyway, so like this is a poem about rejection, frustration, and the need for resilience and to keep going no matter what, because I got there in the end. So this is I Am Crow. I finger a glassful of eyes and throw them at the mirror of disbelief. Others stand in the shadows of all things silent and secret like snuff. Tracks lay where they always did, sweating with error and wayward thought. Trapped throats find words tightly wrapped in bloodied bandages on footpaths. I pack that alligator case, and with every scale of thumb-nailed life, I climb mountains of oily skin to become Crow. And then you see me at last. I really am a fan of John W. Sexton, and he did a workshop in the Barras over the last few months, and this poem came out of those workshops. It's called Perfect for Today. Night sighs with spider eyes as lampposts bend to lick paths flavoured with chewing gum and last night's fire. I am thinking of you again and how you loved my defense of pagan at a middle-class poetry reading across the river. You carry drums in your ears, tribes in your pockets, and stroke hedgehogs for pleasure. Yes, you are dangerous in gentleness, dangerous as we climb the hill of us, above the furious sea and the inky tails of the wandering uterus. You are perfect, perfect for today and the glow of yesterday, in between song, dancing in the ashes of belong, before we yawn toothless. So Mags Fried O'Shea, I don't know if you're still here. Oh, hi Mags. Mags Fried O'Shea put music to my poem Bridget, beautiful music, and hopefully we can get to record it, Mags. Great. Bridget. Cupped flame of sunbeams and snow, cosmic power of renewal. Oak sap rises to kiss your fingers, spring tides bathe your feet. Your sketched moon, fractured sun, first flower of spring in a druid's fist. Born between two thresholds, you hold the hand of all labours. Our Mary of the Gale, we tie magic ribbons and rags to your holy wish trees, sing songs over ancient rivers. Protector of poets, smiths, healers, we kneel before your mantle of stars. Bridget, carried from Iona to Bethlehem, you inhale the dark, exhale the light. As you can tell, I am from Cork, originally from Douglas, Cork's near Cork City. I'm going to dedicate this poem to Mary O'Connell, a dear friend of O'Vale, who passed away recently. And this was published in Cork Words too. And thanks to Patricia Looney for that initiative and the Poetry in the Park initiatives, apart from other things. So it's called Red and White Bones. Buttera, baraka, pana home, with ham from O'Donovan's for me man. Pick the plumpest chicken in the window, says me nan, or all the other headscarves. Coats with deep pockets, lee full of trolleys, grand parade of first dates, I lick me lips. Love outside City Hall ignites 50 years. Dickerstown Inn turns my angel upside down. Bodega Jazz sweats through white bricks. Songs rise from the marsh of ancient Cork. South Mall awash with merchant ships laden with fruit for Cuthberts. Tripe, drisheen, kidneys, liver, all smile in Irish Colquay or English Market. Elizabeth Fort keeps secret of women sent to roast in a different world for stealing ribbon. Charlie the Bog sings the boys of Fairhill. Murphy is still in a glass of his own. Donkey jackets play red and white bones. This is Cork Boy, welcome to the moon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, this is the end of our reading. I want to thank Paul, of course, also a former special guest at the Barrows, and actually the Barrows was sort of emulated on O'Vale, because obviously that is the fathership of all poetry groups that we know. Maybe. No, maybe not, but around here perhaps. Thank you, and thank you, Michelle and Shauna, and thank you, audience, and earlier performers. I really enjoyed this night. Good night.
Thanks so much, Jose. How great were those showcases, guys? So special. So nice. Thank you. Really enjoyed that, and I'm really doubtful that something similar won't happen again. I really look forward to the next iteration of that, next evolution of it. And all of the details for each poetry night are in the festival program, which is also online if you want to remind yourselves of it. And then, of course, anyone who's not aware, Ovail presents this festival. Ovail is, among many other things, a regular open mic night in Cork as well, in the Long Valley, every second Monday. So I strongly urge you to stick around for final poets of the night and of the whole festival. Two special guests for you. And last night during the festival dinner, we mentioned about how people from Cork and Ireland, maybe not Dublin, but how we always put ourselves down a bit, and like can't take a compliment, and this kind of thing. And this next poet was totally refreshing in the scene when it came to that, similar to Ciarán from the Underground. He just arrived in Cork, got stuck in, went to every open mic night, started his own open mic night for a while, which I think might return. Up and down to Dublin, he's just super involved, and above all, just a really lovely person to bump into on the street too, which I respect. So please give it up for Jason J. Fisher. And while Jason's preparing, I'm going to totally abuse my power as an MC and let everyone know that I lost one of these earrings today. Somewhere between here and the Grand Parade. It's a ginkgo leaf. It looks like a bit of tinfoil, so please don't give me some tinfoil. But yeah, thanks so much. Enjoy, Jason.
Just wanted to say a few words to start. Gratitude, thankfulness. When I first got to Ireland, it was kind of a dark time in my life, and I think 2016, I just wandered into a creative writing class hosted by Paul Casey. And he said, he encouraged me a lot. He said, keep writing, and there's this thing called Ovail. And I was like, what? And so that kind of got me into the poetry scene in Ireland. I wanted to shout out Sling Slang, Cara Kirsch especially. Last year I had like one really good piece, and she was like, you need to do a 20-minute set at Sling Slang. And I was like, geez. And so right. And that led to a lot of the stuff you're gonna hear tonight and the shows that I do around town. And I wanted to shout out the Underground Loft in Ciarán because it's funny, like I'm 36 and it's a younger crowd there. And it's so inspiring to go see the next generation of like the young poets in Cork and Ireland and everything. And it's also a reminder that I'm not in my 20s anymore when you go there. But yeah, so shout out to them and shout out to Ubuntu Sessions as well. They're great. I've been there once, but I'll be back again. But I'm gonna do an experimental weird one, and we'll see how we get on. Whew. There's been an ever-rising, ever harder to contain utterance leaping from my lips and bursting from my brain. Its origins are unclear, and ultimate purpose indescribable. But the universe is weird and ultimately unsurvivable. The mysterious term I continue to affirm is this. Piff! Capital P, 3 italicized I's, then F, piff! Piff is the reason I go to bed without dread about what lies ahead. For I never cry and wonder why with piff, because I remember so many nights on the floor on all fours before piff. Now I make sure every performance is in accordance with piff. I never falter because I worship at the altar of piff. I keep my third eye clear and my mind unaltered, so to be near, you guessed it, to piff. And I'm not a chump. I can triumph despite taking my lumps because my days, weeks, and months are filled with piff. Never pissed, never miffed. The words by JJF exist because of piff. And oh, if she were a woman, I'd almost die trying to lie beside piff. To slip into the sea for a misty, moonlit tryst with piff. But Piff is not a lass. And perhaps my point emerges at last. Piff is a construct I use to construct a worldview where your fate and the future don't hurt you. Rather, you face them with grace and keep everything in your purview. So I hope your perspective shifts. You resolve all your rifts and fall into bliss. Just use Piff. It's your new gift. There's free Piff stickers. If you have stickers, get them here. Yeah. I'm gonna do a piece called Death Sticks. I don't know about fortune or glory, but what's most important for me, memento mori, because my life can be a suspenseful story, or rather rife with events which bore me. And it really is the case that ringing, ricocheting pain brings about blistering nicotine. And I know, I gotta let go of these death sticks, but this flow is still so deft and electric, and I guess it's, I hope to live my life the best I can, while taking copious notes on the best bits, as I push cancerous thoughts from my mind further down the line, because I'm covered in soot and grime. Hoping the tumor they find in 25 years' time is benign. And people always ask, man, why are you so damn strident? It's because I laid in a stagnant pit for 6 years and almost died inside it. But somehow, I survived it. And the jury is still out if that escape route was divinely or self-guided. And now that bright white light is arcing, sparking, invading the cracks, the crevices, the current residence of the humming dark things. Don't you hear the melody they're strumming upon each and every one of my heartstrings? And remember, I'm never just a dusty, dumb, done thing, but rather forever in the process of becoming someone, something. So I stay steadily sketching out a meticulous list of what to do while I'm alive, and I keep it fluid inside until the oh-so-solid conclusions arrive. I'll do my best to not let death ruin the vibe. And I'll do my best to not let death ruin the night. And I keep my eyesight tied tight to the blue and the white. You see, death died, but I've resurrected him just right. So we've continued to tussle and fight with renewed muscle and might. And he will win at the end of the night. But on this glorious winter warmer evening, I get to say, I'm living my life fully and completely. For I fear we're here but once and ever so briefly. So now I get to begin again. And now I get to begin to again. And now I get to begin to transcend again. And now I get to begin to live again. And I get to begin to live again. Never noticed how dry your mouth gets until you're in front of 50 people at a poetry festival, but all right. This piece is called Curious with Questions. And I know I'm from North America, so when I say Excedrin, everyone knows what that means, right? Just think paracetamol, headache medicine, yeah? So when I say Excedrin, think paracetamol. I started off in this world feeling completely lost, trying so hard to chart all the swirling, fleeting thoughts. Then all at once, a small idea occurred to me, arriving right as it was supposed to, unhurriedly. For if I am curious with open eyes and questions, life always supplies me with lessons.
I will come to find through time that I can confess them to comprehend them, intend to defend them, rend and upend them, bend and amend them, but be sure to accept them, nurture and nest them so as to further invest them into all of my brethren. And I'm still stocking up on the strongest available over-the-counter Excedrin. Just think, hoping to counter the constantly available dreaded headspin. Well, bloody hell, I certainly fell then, failing to avail of the rushed momentum found at a tailwind's tail end. But much smoother sailing now as I face the headwinds with grace found from within every trusted best friend. Dropping off raw prose into the crevices of my engine, and then it all goes from fatally stagnant to ascension. That feeling was primal, essential to my survival. I was in denial, so idle while awaiting the arrival of my own revival, threading the needle and pushing the dial, I'll remake myself adamantly, knowing we're here for such a little while. I'm gonna try to squeeze 2 more in there real quick. So, this is a nice piece called Koala Shit. Some of you may have heard it. It's one of the first things I ever wrote in Cork. Yo, this flow is like lava pits. I'll show you so you can acknowledge this. I will never call it quits, for I am forever the wanderer above the sea of fog and mist. And trust, I just spit rough stuff then polish it until I can bum rush any beat and demolish it. But my woefully broken brain needs a dream team of at least 16 psychologists. And all I want is a simple life, bursting at the seams with absolutely all of it, traveling right between having an alcoholic / non-alcoholic / alcoholic / non-alcoholic fit. Get off the flight to Australia and step in koala shit. Now, I wish there were no need for border talks amidst vicious politics. And Jason, quit being a kind of sort of why do I exist apologist and forget fear. You said you abolished it. But at the time of this writing, I'm still deciding whether to face my demons fighting or go back into hiding. Keeping in mind, my deadline is my lifetime. I will hold a mic in my hand for my whole lifespan until I'm an old, wise man, digging my toes in white sand. All right. So, when I was young, I thought the cleverest rhyme when I was like 10, my sister's name was Crystal, was that I would call her Crystal the Pistol, Crystal the Pistol, till she like wept, like she didn't really like it. Now, if you look on her Instagram, she's Crystal the Pistol 26, so there you go. So I put a line for Crystal in the song, so maybe you can find it. This poem right there. This is called Diamond Shine. Most are, for the most part, complacent. Look at their eyes, so vacant. They won't understand how to generate a genesis. They'll just want to stand somehow art adjacent, seeing what leaks from the hands and heart of Jason. Because my name is Jason J. Fisher. All I want is to write with such insight, the words are considered scripture. Go out at night chasing the light to free stars which flicker in a picture. Because I was stressing, then guessing, now assessing that the absolute best thing is when it's all coalescing into the next thing, the correct thing. But back then, my thoughts were often scattered, lost within lots of plots, but without chapters, carefully considering how it all stops. And are there hereafters? Because right now we're all here But what about after? And I find, if you find the time to mind your mind, then mind your mind. You'll find you can redesign your mind, refine your mind, and then compressed carbon hardens, realigns into 100% pure, marvelous, unmitigated, crystalline. I was going to take my last 2 seconds to do 2 quick shout outs, shameless plugging, you know what it is. So I'm also bringing a poetry night back to Cork. It's called Pros and Woes. I want to give a special shout out to Kieran because it's going to be at the Liberty Bar too. He helped me with that. But yeah, it's going to be a local night. John Horton's going to be on it. Kieran's going to be on it. Jamie O'Shea. It's Tuesday, December 5th, upstairs Liberty Bar. That's one thing. And then John Horn has started amazing, he looks embarrassed. He started an amazing poetry podcast called John's Poetic License. It's local people to come and do poetry, discuss art, and I think it's a great way to bring the whole community together. So talk to him about that. Go ahead. Oh yeah. The main podcast is called Suburb Culture. But yeah, thanks so much. I'm Jason JF.
Give it up for Jason J. Fisher. So our last guest of the Winter Warmer is joining us on Zoom. Yes. And he has joined Ovale frequently over the last couple of years, and I think he's the perfect guest to close out the show. So hailing from the majestic Matapo Mountains in Zimbabwe, Sifango is a wellness storyteller who expresses his thoughts on mental health, politics, social life, existence, and personal growth through the power of poetry. With a passion for spoken word, he has won 7 international slam championships. Woo! And has performed in various countries such as Italy, France, Belgium, Zambia, Ivory Coast, and the UK. In 2022, Sifango released his first chapbook, Trials, published by Ubuntu Afro Publishers. And please give a massive round of applause joining us on Zoom, Sifango.
Gratitude. Hello, Creator. Welcome to this segment of your existence that interacts with a character named Spongo. I am grateful your being created this. I love you today, tomorrow, until infinity. You've probably heard of a village boy with a dream. Rose from the Matopo Mountains, voice so strong it flew in places some choose to only dream. He's won a number of slam competitions with poems he traveled authorship with. With house music, he creates celestial experiences for those seeking to dance beyond this. Who is he? Tenson. What's the meaning of this word? Was it supposed to be Tennyson and a typo skipped the Y? I did some research, and the closer I got to making sense of this lifetime infinite stain was son of Dennis. Yay! I know what my name means. But my father was Louis. And his name is not on my birth certificate. I wonder what really happened. Was he so unreliable he couldn't show up for my registration Anyway, I'm happy it happened. I wouldn't have grown up the way I did if it didn't. Did I tell you I don't like weddings? In June of this year, I attended one of the best days in my life, but I still don't like weddings. My pastor at New Birth Fellowship was getting married. We'd heard of the wedding for months during sermons, and beyond excitement doesn't describe how I was. My first wedding experience. I was in grade 5 or 6, something like that. Then came the night before the wedding. I and my cousins' loud mouths contributed because we couldn't stop speaking of it. I vowed that evening never to attend weddings. For like a hurricane, my grandmother shattered the pending experience. As if we'd already gone to the wedding and embarrassed her. What do children know about weddings? Now my younger self is stuck hating weddings. I love my grandmother. Sometimes I wish she was here to show me how to grow past that. But that doesn't stop me from guiding me to realities I perceive best. That's a part of it. What demons whisper in your ear, angels want to hear, because between good and bad, only you experience. Agents posed as guardians on street corners, scraping your wallet, selling false experiences, wrecking balls on heads of those who dare touch you, aligning your body to the roots of the community, red bricks that come with assurance. What's safety? What's peace? Chekwagare, Hansi Chagalokama streets in Freetown, Kush is making zombies of kids. It ain't that Khalifa good, robbing generations. Most niggas who smoke wouldn't throw, even if stuck naked, Mia stood. I said, most niggas who smoke wouldn't throw, even if stuck naked, Mia stood. Maybe that's good. Less alignment with overconfident avatars when your tribe is shy. A British parliament model can never work on Mars. Why are you keeping that anger inside? Why are you backing down when Kenan's inside? Why utter peace when your heart wants to tear down brick by brick each belief that builds your experience? Why demonize every other style when missionary is Kalahari dry? You think a king who doesn't want to see you come will let you do on his golden streets. You think a father who rejoices in your suffering has prepared a mansion for you. I don't know. I'm just letting my thoughts free on this winter warmer festival, sitting on this chair with Ubaba Uchirikure on his phone over there. I'm just living my dream, turning feelings to words, words to feelings on stage, hoping you relate or don't. Sometimes I care. Sometimes I care. So I walked, voices in my head guiding me, things people say propelling me. I walked, words becoming me, I becoming words. I didn't give up searching for meaning. Not just that of my name, but the meaning of existence. Would I be here if you weren't perceiving this moment? Either way, gratitude. Azibuthanga qotho ngalobiyana busuku ezikamoya. Zabongolela zabudonsukusa bungela kukhanya busiza lendubo zabo. Ukufa kwakungenile ekhaya kwayishaya kwayithintiti hloko yomuzi yasala izicuco kwezintathu inkomo ezahlatshwa leyo mina. Angimazanga ukhokho ngimuzwa ngendaba. I only know of my great grandfather through tales. The amphibians denied me conversations with him, yet when eyes shut, a bodiless foot struggling to free itself from the cow dung, I see a lifeless face echoing screams of, I haven't done nothing, anyenzanga lutho, I don't diss no president, I'm just trying to feed my family. Ngitshela uqabukani imvelaphi yakhe isizukulwane siyilobe emaphepheni, but no. The screams fell on deaf ears as many did back then. 5 fire brigade trucks and still the heart turned to ashes. Now here I am, robbed of a third of my history, writing angry poems for you to snap and lift them tens without asking how I feel. Can't you hear the disconnect in these carefully crafted lines? I am not me. I am me. I'm learning how to not live in the past. Some of those lines were written years ago. They reflect the pongo of years ago. Yes, I grow. What's your take on what other people get up to? In darkness, far from the gaze of the public, behind curtains, adulting the only way they feel to, bringing no harm to nobody but the ego. Their alleged actions, be it they confess, do they tickle you, the wrong way, make you want to rage? They deserve no less than death. What about you? How worthy are you of the CO2? Again, what's your take on what other people get up to? In the nakedness of day, lights bright, lenses focused on the tips of your fingers, the comfort of your couch, their apparent actions, be it they deny, do they tickle you into hiding your face? Into denying the love that you are, because your mind recalls the voice of your brother wailing at the absence of scrapes he once called food, and your reaction was, Garo, well, do their actions, do your actions, should it be do or should it be does? At this point, irrelevance is setting, mirrors in front of you, me, us, echoes of her cries while CAT machines tear her apart. What's your take on that? Do you feel her helplessness with each techno advancement? Do you know what 2035 is in store for Zimbabwe? I feel I do. I feel I do. Because as the sun goes down, those shadows unite. In the other hemisphere, we are touched by new light. But the sun sets for the vendor. He ain't done yet. The chips he made all day couldn't feed his son yet, cause day to day he dodges trouble, thought bubbles for ideas to lessen the trouble. See, tomorrow remains a puzzle. He's living for the moment, his wife on the go too, no energy for romance, his uncle in hospital, they stabbed him in the alley, the shadow of death has been walking in the valley for a t-shirt of a party that he got from a rally, the man he voted for is sleeping in palace. See, the salary they get is changed to these leaders, yet they still believe that change is through the leaders. The revolution was sold to the highest bidders, dribblers and murderers, educated brains tied within the chains of capitalistic gains. These are cannibalistic aims. Humans swallowed alive, zombies, the walking dead, the sun sinks, but it will rise. We have our lows to know our highs. Someone's born when someone dies, so our prayers reach the sky. Get up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Get up. Get on your feet. Go put in the work. Whether you are selling a dream or selling a smile, physically, mentally, flex that muscle. Imagine and become. Turn your back to the doubt, open your heart to the love, your ears to the universe. Keep your eyes on your vision and your middle finger raised. Wow. Thank you very much. Peace. Power. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Give it up for Sifongo. What a weekend, that was great. So the festival is over, but before we call it closed completely, we have some thank yous to give. And we want to say thank you to Nanonagle Place and Nanonagle for allowing us use this lovely space. It has been a warm winter warmer indeed. So thank you very much to all the staff and people at Nanonagle Place. Thank you very much to all of the sponsors who very kindly supported the festival. Thank you very much to all of the volunteers and everybody who contributed their time, everybody who contributed their words, all the amazing artists who spoke throughout the weekend. Please give it up for everybody at Abbey Forum. On behalf of the audience, and I'd just like to say thank you very much to Paul Casey for organising it all. To Kieran and to Rab for doing the lights, and all of our viewers on Zoom. And hey! Is that everybody? I think so, and you, the people. Thank you very much. So thank you very much for joining us, and it's been a wonderful Sunday and a wonderful winter warmer. And yeah, thanks a million, guys. Until next year. That's all. And Brendan, who's a part of O'Vale, and who's doing the social media and did the poster and everything.